Well, hey there, team. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Stationeers. As we continue along, some wonderful feedback. I'm just going to keep churning these episodes out. As long as they're getting the traffic that they're getting, I have no problem. That's always been the channel philosophy. We lean into what's popular. Unless it's a bad game, then it just inexplicitly disappears. I think some of you could figure out what some of those are. Interesting discussion around the furnace. When you look at the furnace, what do you see? You see something that melts, you know, metals together and all that. What I see is something with a chute in and a pipe out. I'm pretty sure this is the only thing in the entire game that has that. People were suggesting it as well. With the sun going down, we're going to do some experiments because it's going to be cold. I'm curious what happens with ores. Because this might be the secret to going from chute into pipe without having to put it into open rooms. Some of you shared your experience with that. Still 130 degrees. We're going to open this up, stuff it. I mean, it's not a high enough mixture to be a real problem. It's still hardly any H2. Look at that. Overall, it's still less than 1%. It's definitely heating it up, but look how cold we got. I don't know if there's not a ceiling, a floor, I suppose. It sounds a bit strange. You know, is there a lower limit to how cold it's going to be able to go, sort of thing? Hmm. %. There you go. Oh, okay. Nearly done. But it's still worth keeping an eye on because it still managed to go from -70 up to -45 with only like one reaction's worth in there. Yeah, people pointing out that they would drop it into they'd shoot their ores into a room and have it melt and then have the room explode. You know, that's sort of what I'm worried about. Well, actually, at this point, we just need to wait for that to... Okay, that's empty. So we can turn that off now. I'll just swap my battery while I think of it. Look at him go. Everyone's so proud of me. Look at that, you can switch it straight in with my alt controls. Oh my god, he's learning. He's evolving. Alright, so we're going to experiment with what happens when I put ores into this this machine. This is my concern. I don't want a reaction, right? All I want is for it to turn from chute into pipe. That's all I want to use it for. I don't actually want to use it for its furnace properties. I want to use it for its junction properties, right? So say we go split 1. In fact, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put 1 in there. Because I'm thinking ahead. We'll just dump you there for the moment, and we're gonna go split 1. So now we've got 2 because I want to understand what happens when it's a stack. So we'll put that there. We're gonna use them during the day, all right? All right. Split 1 because you can only split these in your hand. Actually, I'll take this moment to just. Well, I'll check, but it's not going to confirm it. But what I might be able to do here is alt drag that ore straight into there. Alright, that's cool. So, because we don't have sunlight, I think sunlight's more crucial than actual heat. I mean, heat's a component as well, but if you put sunlight onto these ores, I think they melt immediately. Okay, so interesting to note, the chute hasn't opened up, right? And it's got nothing in there. So technically, that ice is just sitting in there now, uncrunched or converted. It's still in ice form. Now, if we press the prime button, right, it makes room and it puts that in there, and it's at... Look at that, 10%, 90%, -110, which sounds about right. Like there's, okay, so there hasn't been a reaction. This is fantastic. So ultimately, all that prime button has done with a single type of ice has just turned it. It's not a prime button anymore. It is a turn into ice button, or it turn into liquid. It's a state change button, right? Which is cool, and like we said, state change is very strange in this game. Like, I don't think we can go back to ice. No one's answered that, but I'm pretty sure it's a one-way ticket, as we covered. Wait, am I out of power again? Did I just take the wrong battery? Oh, I took a little baby battery. What a dickhead. Oh my god. I was so proud of myself, and people were like, yeah, but you took the wrong battery. I'm sorry. This kind of answers my questions. I was going to do some experimentation in the light, but I think in the nighttime it will just sublimate it on its own. Okay, that's awesome. So that's basically just flush that into the system, right? Which we will just pump that out now. Okay? We finished our experiment. Pump that into there. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll experiment with that during in the day a little bit as well. That's why I've got those spare ores in my pocket. Hopefully I'll be able to, well, I want to actually experiment. I want to know if I can alt drag them from my belt straight into the furnace without the sunlight affecting them. Having said that, I think we might be able to see for a split second if it makes it, but the ore, it's likely going to sublimate immediately in the sun. All right, so. Oh, actually, you know what? On the back of that experiment then, what we will do is this. We'll split one. And I'll put it there. Right, so we'll just have that sit until day as well. So we'll have like 3 different experiments we'll do. So when the sun comes up, now we'll be able to know is if the sunlight on the furnace and the heat change will actually sublimate the ore as it sits in the furnace in this state already. And then we'll be able to observe, and just for the sake of the experiment to confirm, there should be nothing in that pipe on the back end, and it's not pumping. So what I suspect is going to happen is when the sun comes, well, I don't know for sure. Either nothing will happen, which will be interesting, and it'll tell us that the furnace is 100% insulated, or the sun's going to melt that and it's going to state change into that pipe. It's very exciting. I'm going to make a baked potato while we sort of muse a bit. Close the lid. So, I think already we've figured out how we're going to use this. Which is to say, I'll just mung on my potato while we observe. So we've got our hopper, right? We chucked our belt. Someone said it was an unloader and not a sorter or something like that. I appreciate that. When we get to it, we'll get to it. But we're going to chuck the belt in the hopper, okay? It's going to go down into a, essentially, it's not going to be a vacuum sealed room, right? Or is it? The danger with having it vacuum is if we ever let any contaminants in there, that's it, it's not vacuum anymore. I mean, obviously, because the other option is that we could have the room regulated at a certain temperature. You know, we could actually have a bit of atmosphere to keep it cold. Just not to give the things a chance. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we want vacuum or if we want... Or if we want some sort of super cold atmosphere. I'm not sure. Anyway, the chute, we'll worry about that because both scenarios work, I suppose. One's just more work than the other. Okay, so we've got a chute down there. There's no sunlight and presumably there's no heat. We have the thing unload the belt. And then for each gas, this is going to be strange, but it should work. For each of the unique gas ores that could be going in there, we're going to have a dedicated furnace, but it's not a furnace anymore. It's a sorting machine. And we're going to have the chute run down there. So you're going to have volatile go into one. You're going to have bloody water go into one, that sort of thing. But we have to make sure that it's in an environment that is always below sublimation level, right? It's going to have to be in the negative. So yeah, either vacuum or in some sort of atmosphere. And then what we could do is set up logic. I think someone suggested this as well, but it's exciting because, you know, not that I'm trying to steal your thunder, but I thought about this as well while I was in bed last night. You could probably set up logic to this. Is there a data link to the furnace? Oh. There is. Okay, cool. So there's a data line. So what you could do is we could send a data line that reads the in, right? So as long as there's ice, that's something else we should have experimented with too. Is how much more time do we have? Shit. I can just drop this potato on the ground. It's alright, 5-second rule. Prime. Pump. Split one. I want to know what happens when there's a stack in there. Split one. Alright, here we go. No, turn the pump off first, you dickhead. Confirm it's empty. Good. Oh, it's melting! Shit! The sun's coming up. Ugh. Well, bugger. Just nothing left but me and my potato. Alright, well... Bugger. Yeah, I wanted to see what a stack would do. Okay, we'll do the... Yeah, because... Does it crunch the entire stack? You know what I mean? Or does it do it once per press? These things we need to know. There you go. Potatoes all done. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, is there any chance that it got any in there? No. Alright, so here we go. So we're going to test the alt drag in sunlight. Oh, I think it popped before it could. Oh no, hang on. Did it get it all? 20 kPa. Oh, I didn't take the numbers. You guys could probably check on the video. That might have actually even, you know, because, you know, it's still programming. It was instantaneously in that slot. So even though it's sublimated, it was still technically in the furnace. I think that managed to catch all of it then. Interesting. A lot of interesting experiments going on here. Clear it out. Nice. Turn that off. And then we're going to just test this one. What was it? 20 kPa for one? What happens when we put two? That's even more interesting. It melted one, but not the other. It didn't have time because it's a tick, right? It's still programming. So there's a tick component going on, right? So in that 1 second of putting it in, it managed to melt one ore. That's why we've got the exact same numbers. So there's one liquid state ore in the pipe, and there's one still sitting in there. That's why it's still closed. How amazing is that? Right, to confirm it, if I hit this button, it's going to double up the, going to go boom, it'll open. Yeah. And there we go. Look at that. 50 kPa. That's crazy. It's really... You know what? There's room for me to actually do my experiment here. Let's pump that in there. That is if I can figure out a way to... Can I split ores in the belt? No, not into my hand, please. I mean, I can bring up the split. That's cool that you can bring up the split menu. Huh. Okay. Well, that's good to know that you can actually you can split them from the belt into your hand, but we can't do that during daylight. Okay. That actually answers a lot of questions. Because what I was going to say is if I made a 3 stack of oxide and I put it in here, right? One would melt. The other two would still be sitting there. I could test the primer button. We're just going to test it when night comes back around anyway, so it's not a big deal. Oh no, my poor plants. Oh, we better deal with that tonight. Okay. But still, suffice to say, we're gonna put it into a facility with these furnaces underneath. Thing is, I want to have access to these facilities as well. But I feel like it's gonna be so delicate. So say I have like some sort of corridor that I can move through to get down there for maintenance and that, because you need that. We need to be able to access it. The problem with treating it as vacuum is all it's gonna take is, I don't know, say I flush my fucking helmet or I accidentally... Shit, maybe I fire off an oxy welder and it puts... Because that will have waste gas put into the system. And that heat alone could be enough to melt everything in all the chutes. And then we would have a fucking explosion. Do you sort of see what I mean? So I think keeping the... I think I've answered my own question. Keeping the facility in vacuum, at least for this, is probably a really bad idea. What we need is an atmosphere that's regulated. It doesn't have to be breathable. Like, I could go in there in my suit, I suppose. But we would need a cooled atmosphere. In fact, arguably, it wouldn't want to be breathable because it has to be so cold. Like, we'll have to have it at such a negative temperature. Yeah. Yeah, because, like, pipes are, you know, pipes you can put cold liquid through them and all that sort of stuff, right? But the chutes, we're trying to keep the chutes cold, essentially, and around the chutes. So what we could probably do is use X, right? Everyone tells me X has the best specific heat capacity in the game. And look at that, 55%. We've got so much pollutant, I don't know what to do with it. Now I do. I'm going to make a pollutant cooling atmosphere in a sort of subsection of my base. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so I guess we get started. And we're going to use the auto miner holes to help us out. But apparently this hopper acts as a big stacker, but there's a lot of it's not working as intended. Someone wrote a pretty lengthy comment, which I appreciate. But it doesn't sound like... maybe the hopper will help us if we do it in an underground facility kind of way. I'm not sure. We'll cross that bridge in a bit. At the moment, we've got more stuff to keep us busy for a couple of episodes anyway. So... fuck. How about... Alright, good. I just needed to get the mechanism out of the way. That is interesting. What does the angle tell? Oh, that's cool. Sort of, is that a 45-degree slope, do you think? It is, I think. So it's sort of half of a block. It tells us more about the block grids that we build on as well. So if I put the top of that flush... yeah. We can dig out that corner. I think you can actually terrain morph and deform with the drill. I don't understand it though. I haven't really looked into it. If anyone knows how to do that, let me know. Because I think it's got a dirt slot in my belt or something like that. Because you can obviously do all that sort of stuff in, say, Stationeers, the close cousin of this. Did I just make the advanced one by accident? I can't tell.
Jetpack on.
No, I think that's... I think that's fine. Oh. Can I catch my potato? No. Jeez, the bedrock looks cool these days. Alright, so it didn't finish digging all the way down. I see. Cool. Alright, so this is the beginning of it all. I suppose we should start putting frames to sort it out. Working in steel makes the most sense. As people have pointed out, it's more efficient. No. Pop some steel down. 1, 2. Yeah, 2 for starters would be the main. Two, 3, 4, 5. Let's make 5. Yeah. Well, that works out well, because I want 4 sheets. Oh, geez Louise. Squeeze out a sneeze. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jetpack on.
So what I want to do, 1, 2. Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh. Oh. How are we going to get an airtight seal? That's interesting how it wants to sit off center. Alright, well. It's going to have to pass through a boundary, right? There's no two ways about that. That changes things a bit. But that's okay, as long as it hasn't been sorted before it goes through the boundary. Alright, hang on. So say that's the boundary that it passes through. I mean, could we put a wall kit there? Does it matter? Not really. But we need to put a roof on it. Like that. This is quickly getting out of hand. Okay. I'm running out of space as well on my... Yeah, okay, that's fine. I want to drill out those. Alright, I'm gonna make some more space in my inventory. And I need to do some rounds and some more experiments as well. Tracker and e-reader. Goodbye. Wait, what was that? Oh yeah. We'll come back to these. Don't need this bloody pill. Alright, let's deal with these poor bloody plants. 5. Oh yeah, we can put that in our inventory now. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So it needs to pass through some sort of boundary or wall, and it probably makes more sense to make it a frame as opposed to an actual wall kit. You know, if we're going to be making this bloody air sealed pollutant gas room that will explode if we get the temperature wrong, yeah, that probably better off just doing a frame, you know? 69 degrees. It's getting a bit warm in here. Set outwards. Yeah, it doesn't help that I'm not sticking to my timetable on this. I mean, it's a radical solution, but we could do it. And it's probably not wise. I'm tempted to drop one ore in here. Would it be? It'd be oxide, wouldn't it? And I've got one I prepared earlier as well by accident. Oh no, I don't. Oh no, but I could separate it into my hand. Let's just do that to inject some cooling, right? Lucky, look at this. It's all working out well. See, split one. Here we go. It's going to instantly melt. It's probably going to liquid form, actually. Oh. Maybe not. Didn't quite have the effect that I thought it would. Set inward. Oh. Actually, you know what? I think we've done this once upon a time. And it doesn't do as much cooling as you'd think. That'll do for the time being. It's an interesting fix. No, actually, this is a perfect fix, because that's what I was arguing that I don't think there's enough gas in this system. That's why we're having cooling problems. And that I'm not doing my rounds properly. What the fuck is this? Wait, what the hell? What is going on here? Okay. Let's just put that in our backpack and not talk about it. Close this. That's weird. I have a broken bloody potato in my backpack now. Yeah, so I just got to pay attention to what I'm doing and make sure I do this daily. But, you know, we're always so busy. But, oh shit, wrong way. But arguably, yeah, now there'll be more sort of density of gas. And I think that should help it actually cool better.
Power low.
Yeah. This bloody thing can go here. I worry about having it in my backpack if it's gonna fucking attack me or something. Or glitch into me. Yeah, okay, we're gonna test the double crunch. Operation double crunch. Split 1, split 2. There we go. Alright. Did I empty this pipe? I did. In fact, I've had this thing running the whole time. That can't be good for power. Alright. So we'll pop this in. Confirm that it's empty behind. Right. Hit the prime button. I hit that once for sure. Look at that. Okay, and then hit it once more. Alright, so there you go. Safe to say, every time you hit the prime button, it crunches one ore. Which is cool. So we can create a 50 stack of fucking oxide, right? And we could have a logic system read that if... In fact, you know what? We discovered from all the reading, it probably can read the amount in the slot. So it could read not only if it's full, it could read there's 48 in there or something like that. That's really helpful because... Well, actually, that doesn't matter so much because say it was just a binary. If something's in there, crunch, hit the button. So it just smashes the button 50 times, right? problem is that we're going to pump too much gas into the system in one go, right? So what we could probably do is we could write a compare logic, right? So we could go, okay, check these pipes, see how full they are, sort of thing, right? Okay, cool. We'll have a threshold because that's going to have to go in and get sorted, and we don't want to blow up our system. But then once it's been processed through the pipe system, the logic would compare to this and see if it's empty or not, and then crunch it. So it's not just going to crunch it automatically, sort of like the simple logic we did this, just fucking go no matter what. We'll make it crunch one more ore as the room gets made in the system for it. And then we could potentially have like a fail-safe then, so like if for some reason our tanks start filling up too much, then it would stop altogether. Alright, cool. It might not seem like it as far as actual physical construction. We've made a lot of progress towards like understanding what's going on here, which is pretty cool. That's interesting how the hopper is sort of offset. Yeah, so the next thing will be we'll build a chute and we'll dogleg it into there. This will be a sealed boundary that it passes through. Probably we could pass power and all that through if we need to. And then on the other end of it, or under, or wherever we decide to start building, then we start building our facility with our sort of atmosphere and that sort of thing. Yeah, and we'll put a roof on that. Yeah, and I'll move these, I'll angle grind them and move them. Okay, cool. But I think we got the gist of it, team. As always, keep telling me what you guys reckon, you know? Like I said, there is a line between backseating, trying to fucking tell me what to do, and also being collaborative, and most of you understand that, which is good. And for the rest of you that are just trying to hijack it and tell me what they want me to do, you can get stuffed, I ignore you. But for the most part, you're all fantastic. We have such a lovely community. Alright, team, thanks again for joining me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I will catch you guys on the next one.